Thanks, everybody. You know, I realize you have so many other things to do in your life. So I mean this. Thank you for spending some time watching the show. Eric, I'm looking forward to this. Eric's going to tell you a story, how he was damaged a long time ago, had surgery, still was no better. We sort of came across each other's path. So it's a workman's compensation injury. So any of you out there that have a workman's compensation claim and that you're not really getting better from, watch this show. So Eric, for 30 seconds, give people an idea, who is Mr. Eric Van Fleet?
I'm 43 years old, father of two, married to an incredible wife. I'm a truck driver and equipment operator by trade. Pretty simple guy, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're going to tell his story about how he injured himself at work, 20 years ago?
Yeah, 20, coming up on 21.
And even had surgery, but was never that good after surgery. So let's see, how did I get involved in this whole story? So to go get some water, come back in a minute. So let me lay the scene for you. Eric came to the office about a month ago with his beautiful wife for a CDL exam. I'm also a medical examiner that we were doing your CDL renewal.
Yep.
During that process, you know, part of the questions is how's your neck and your back? And then he reminded me that he had a work comp injury, means a work-related injury. Was it 20 years ago?
November 15th, 2004.
Okay. And then you had fusion of what areas?
The L5S1 in January of '06.
And it was never that successful?
Not initially, or initially maybe a little bit, but it just started progressively getting worse as the years went on because the rest of my back was taking more of the abuse that area normally would take. So.
And what we were just talking about off the air here was 2 years ago, he was here also for the same exam.
Yep.
But we never started chiropractic care because, as he said, you felt what?
I was a little apprehensive about it because I always heard, you know, I have 4 bolts and 2 rods that fused my lower back together. I was always under the assumption that I could never get adjusted or be under the care of a chiropractor because, you know, a bolt could pop loose and who knows what would happen.
Yep, and let me speak my heart here. There are different types of chiropractors. I'm a little bit of a rebel. 10 times a week, patients will say to me, my doctor said I should not see a chiropractor. My neurologist said I should not see a chiropractor. I don't think there's anything wrong with that advice because some chiropractors are rough. Yeah. They would lay you on your side and they have a 260-pound body. They would pound on you. They could maybe hurt you.
Yeah.
So I think that's those doctors who don't, you know, they're so busy in their own specialty. They don't know that I have a special drop piece table, that we have a more gentle technique. So I think you were pleasantly surprised that first visit.
I honestly was. I was expecting to feel pain and, you know, hear all this cracking and popping, but honestly, it didn't even bother me. It felt good. It really did.
I can't wait to get rid of the pain on that right leg.
You and me both.
Remember, I had to go out of town last weekend for an emergency of another guy who was suicidal in Florida, whose back is getting better, so I can't wait to see. His right leg on the first visit, his wife was watching, was about an inch longer. So here's my perspective. A man gets hurt at work, ruptures a disc, gets surgery, still has pretty much the same pain.
Yeah.
The surgeons, the orthopedists, the physical, no one's going to measure the legs like a chiropractor does. So on the second visit, from what I remember, it was still off. But I think by the third visit, remember, it stayed level. You were actually sore.
Yeah.
I think if the body could say, for the first time in 20 years, my right longer leg is, do you ever get in one pair of shoes and the doorbell rings? When you walk in one shoe on and one shoe off,
oh yeah,
that limping,
yep.
That's how you were for 20 years.
Yeah.
You had 1 inch off. So I'm hoping today's show, either it's going to be level or partly because so as I keep it in alignment, that's when the nerve supply should start to heal down. Because you don't feel any change yet though, do you?
Not very marginal yet, but it's only been, this is what, our third visit?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, third.
Okay. So again, what we're talking about, a chance meeting. Many of you watching the show, if you have a workman's compensation claim, let's talk about a little bit of the law. You must see a work comp doctor for the first 90 days.
Yep.
After 90 days, if I knew him closer, I would have said to you, go get that surgery. The pain was severe back then.
Yeah.
John, I'm not much better though. I would have said we have to wait 90 days. After 90 days, the federal law says Eric or you can go to any doctor of your choice, and the workman's compensation has to pay for the claim.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited I can't wait. I was going to check your legs before we did the show because I want to see if it stayed in place. So chiropractically, well, how did you injure yourself 20 years ago?
I was a laborer for a construction company, and we were digging some trenches one day. Something as simple as just getting a shovel full of dirt and turning to throw it like that, and heard and felt a pop in my back, and that was it. The pain got so bad I was literally throwing up sick from the pain. It was horrible.
Yeah, remember, I think when you twisted, that's when the disc ruptures. You know, and I'm not against surgery. You know, I send patients for surgery. In college, they almost teach doctors, don't trust chiropractors. Chiropractors, don't work with doctors. In the real world for 44 years now, Eric, I work in team with all these other doctors. You know, if I was in your life back then, I would have said, it's too far gone.
Yeah.
Get the surgery. You're still not much better? Let's check your legs. We probably could have did this like, even 20 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you're going to see on the last segment of today's show is the actual adjustment. I want you to see how gentle chiropractic can still be effective, because that's what patients will say when they meet me like in the grocery store. Well, these rougher chiropractors say that they have to be rough to get results. You know, I guess that you think you have to pop the spine. But with my table, as your wife always witnesses, we can get you in alignment, Eric. And it's not going to, irritate anything like that.
I don't feel any popping of any kind. Like, I feel relief. I feel no pain from it.
Well, for where you have about a minute left, I would say, what was your life like these last 20 years? So after surgery, you're able to go back to work, but you still had, like how was your life impacted by this injury?
Very limited on the things I could do with both bending, lifting. Always in the back of my mind, I got to be careful. I don't need anything happening.
Wow. I'm just grateful that he has an open mind. You know, you could have said to me, John, you seem like a sincere guy, but I'm afraid, don't touch me. And I would have backed off. I was so happy that day when your wife watched me. How, in fact, we adjusted her that day too,
Yeah,
then I think,
yeah.
because her right side, I think she couldn't bend forward or something. So let's take a break soon. But again, I believe we're going to impact your life. We're going to prevent you from needing a second surgery. It might take us a good 6, 7, 8 visits to finally get 20 years his right side was out. Surgery never fixed it. My job now is to get it in place. So take a little break. Come back in a minute. Eric was just telling me how we went to another chiropractor. When?
About 7 or 8 months ago, I think it was.
Okay. And he was more like a glorified physical therapist.
Yeah, just had me doing stretches and,
Yeah.
didn't even hardly touch my back at all.
You think he was afraid if I hurt him, I'm going to get sued?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he kept asking about the surgery. He's like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. And that's why I thank God I'm here for. When you see twice as many patients for 44 years, I feel like I have 88 years of experience compared to these guys. So we're going to divert to this little story. And part of this story.
Yeah,
Remember I told
absolutely.
you? I felt guilty last Saturday. I went out of town. Remember, that's when you come
Yeah.
up to me every Saturday? Here's a quick story. A month ago, I get a phone call at night from a woman named Sharon from Florida. I don't know these people. Sharon goes to me, we heard that you are a different type of a chiropractor, that you get results when other chiropractors don't, that my husband fell off a bicycle 18 months ago on a highway on his left hip. No fractures, but he has herniated discs, he had a huge hematoma, but after seeing about 15 doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, orthopedics, nothing's helping him. He wants to kill himself. And in the background, I can hear him, let me kill myself. And I'm thinking, do I want to even get involved in this kind of a thing? So I said to her, let me first call your chiropractors. Dr. Matt in Florida. I said, Matt, take a video of how you adjust this patient. He was a glorified physical therapist. And he was just stretching this guy, he never checked the leg length like we're going to do with you.
Right.
So when I said gently, I said, Dr. Matt, he's not getting any better. He's getting worse. Apparently what you're doing is not the right thing. Can I coach you? Well, we all have different ways of ending up with the same results. So the wife calls me back in 3 nights. John, he's going to kill himself. Please fly down here. So my wife said, if you don't go and he kills himself, you're going to feel maybe I could have made an impact.
Yeah.
If I go and I don't even help him, at least I tried.
Absolutely.
So last Friday, I went from Allentown to Vero Beach is where he lives. I took a portable table. We adjusted him twice a day, 3 days in a row. I showed his wife then how to put like pressure points to keep it in place. Every day I call him. Every day he's still suicidal except for last night. He finally called me and says, John, I took my wife out for dinner. I was able to sit at the restaurant for an hour with minimal pain in my back.
That's amazing.
So my point is, not every chiropractor is the same. This man might have killed himself if I didn't go all the way to Florida. The difference, I took a table, I measured his leg length. We're going to do your leg length. So this chiropractor that you saw before me, did he ever even check your leg length?
Not once. Not one time.
And again, people who are not chiropractic patients, I don't think they understand what they mean by leg length. But we're going to go in. Remember that day I think I put that spine on top of your back?
Yes.
I want the viewers to see. So if you've had surgery, and I'm talking even multiple surgeries, you can still see, again, a gentle chiropractor who's a drop piece table.
Yes.
You cannot go to those physical chiropractors who's going to this guy in Florida was rolling him on one side, rolling him on the other side, never even checking the leg length, making the guy worse all the time. Yeah, so again, doctors and attorneys are now referring to me because they now are realizing there's different type of chiropractic.
Yeah.
You know, the average person out there feels probably like you did before.
Yeah,
it's
scared.
going to scare me.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I want to get a little bit earlier because I want to spend extra time in the adjustment room. So in conclusion, I think you would have gotten worse with time.
Oh, no doubt.
I think you would have needed even a second surgery. Once they remove the bad disc, it's called overloading. The next disc works twice as hard. So once they cut that one out and put in plates and 4-inch screws, then my patients say, John, I feel like I'm a robot. I can feel this metal inside.
Yeah.
So I pray, Brother Amis, we'll get rid of the pain on your right leg and prevent the second surgery, and then just come here once a month for life.
Yeah.
To keep after it so you can be healthy even someday when you retire with this beautiful but crazy wife of yours. Okay? I'm looking forward to see if he's leveling it. So let's take a break now. We'll spend about 8 or 9 minutes with the adjustment itself. To me, this is the most exciting part of the whole show, Eric, to be honest with you. He just said it a little bit before. I am not just a mechanic fixing his back. He is afraid to do too much with his back because he has other discs that are damaged. So you people watching this show, his wife just said to us, once you get him better, will he be able to do more work around the house? Think about it now. So it's not just fixing a man's back. It's improving his life, improving his family's life, giving him 30, 40 years of a better life. So it's not just, so again, I know you people out there, there's people who doubt chiropractors because there's rough chiropractors, there's people who have been hurt by chiropractors. Look for a gentle chiropractor. So he got damaged 20 years ago. He had surgery. He has, what'd you say, bolts and screws?
Yeah, 4 bolts, 2 rods.
So again, I have to be gentle. The other chiropractor, we said, they want to touch him because of that. You know, the other, he wouldn't say it, but he's probably thinking, I don't want to get sued if I make this guy worse. So, but thank God, Eric trusted me. So we're going to put him down with this high. So those of you watching this show, let's say you just had surgery and your back is still in a lot of pain. We can put you on this table. It's called a high-low. So Eric doesn't have to crawl on and crawl off. So the table's going to go down. I wanted extra time for this segment. Again, I'm more like a teacher. Eric, in my opinion, 20 years ago, he twisted with a shovel at work. I believe his right side misaligned and he ruptured a disc. So the doctors go in and they put screws and bolts like he just said, but he was left like that. And when I talk to these surgeons about the legs must be level, they have no idea what I'm talking about. So we're going to measure his legs now. I think his wife just said he was so sore By the third visit, because it finally stayed level. But now that was 10 days ago. As you know, we talked about it briefly. I was hesitant to leave my own practice, but I flew to Florida last Saturday to help another guy. Let's see if he stayed level. So when Eric first came here with his wife, we're going to measure the length of his legs. Now they begin perfect, and now here's the mistake. A lot of chiropractors they look and they're done. No, the true test that they're taught in school is to bend the legs. And Eric it's about a ½ inch longer. So can you see it on TV, Ryan? I want to get my hands out of the way. So it's better than it was initially. And again, I knew by going a little bit longer, I hope people understand this. He's been out for 20 years. I get it, 2 or 3 visits, it finally is level, but people will think, well, then you're done. No, you have to keep after it. Keep after it, because 20 years it's been off. So he went back out a ½ inch. Now this is how we adjust it. Remember, there's going to be a surgical scar. There's going to be rods and screws in his spine. I wish the medical doctors and surgeons could see a show like this. I'm tightening up the button a little bit here. So I place my hand on his right SI, his right sacroiliac joint. My other hand on his ischium. The way I stand, and this is what I had to do in Florida. I had to train the wife how to hold a pressure point now that I left, but we just sort of used a drop piece. No pain. It's not good. Surgeons who say to a guy like him, don't go to a chiropractor, they don't know that there's a gentle table like this. So the angles of my hands, 3 taps. Not 2, not 4. 3 taps. So you felt nothing, right?
No, not a thing.
Right, so no pain at all, but we recheck. I have to critique myself each visit. So we bring the legs up, and it looks perfect, Eric, but it has to stay like that for about a month. So the prayer I have, in a month's time, when you can say that my groin pain and my leg pain is gone, so then at the end of my day as a trucker, I now have the energy to help my wife. And I can maybe go to the beach with her. But you don't even want to do that stuff when you're in pain.
No.
But when you're off, like I said, if you ever have one shoe on and one shoe off, so that throws your neck off. So now that's, at least for today, you're going to put ice on that, remember?
Yep.
Don't lay in a couch. Lay in a recliner. Don't put a wallet in the back of your pockets. Try not to cross your legs when you sit.
Yeah.
All those little details to help it hold in place. But now we're going to do your neck adjustment on TV, okay?
Okay.
You're not falling asleep, are you?
No, not yet.
Good. So lay on your back. You know, it was fun if I remember. So the first visit, that's all we did, right? Just the lower back.
Yeah.
I think the second visit, when I did the neck, you felt like what? Like a release? Or what?
Big time.
Yeah, because you seemed happy when I did that
Yeah.
day.
I get a lot of headaches as a result of the neck pain.
Yep. And even that's why we took more time for this segment. In my 44 years of being the busiest chiropractor in this town, I have had 100 women who have migraines. The neurologists do CAT scans of the brain. Nothing wrong with their heads. So they give them anti-anxiety pills. Most of those women are stomach sleepers. They twist their neck to breathe and knocks their neck out, and then they get headaches. So there's nothing wrong, I don't care what your wife says, with your brain. Your brain is good. I think he's been walking unlevel for 20 years, so now his neck is out. So again, on TV, there's rough chiropractors, because I hear it, Eric. Don't touch my neck. This other chiropractor was so rough he hurt me. There's even a more gentle way to still twist the neck.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not afraid to do it on TV. So these neurologists, they call me. How'd you stop my patient's headaches? By adjusting the neck. It takes about 5 visits usually. So when I feel it, you can feel a tension on the right. So his vertebrae are off to the right. So on an MRI, we tell people when they keep their chins up, the neck is healthier. So he's a tall man. I don't want him to look down texting. He can lean back in his recliner and text. So if you have headaches, it's like a second part of the show here. We're going to adjust his neck, keep your chin up, Don't be looking down at your texting all day long. So about 3 vertebrae are off to the right. So my job, maybe visit by visit, to get it back to the left. Nice and slow, Eric. Good?
Oh, that felt good.
Okay. And I don't know if they can hear that on TV. I'm not sure.
I heard it. It felt
So
great.
we pull it left, now we come to this. But again, I'll be honest with you, that's with restraint. So if a medical doctor says to you, don't go to a chiropractor, you should say, I found a chiropractor who's gentle, who can still get results and change people's lives, rather than Eric just staying home. You would have got worse and worse.
Yeah.
And like this man in Florida, chronic pain causes depression. Depression can cause suicide. I didn't want you to get depressed.
No.
I didn't want that guy to hurt himself. So let's do one more here.
Sure.
Little bit. Good boy. That was a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe your wife is right. Maybe your head is not on straight. I've learned in my marriage, women are always right.
You're right.
So you got to just keep them happy.
Yep.
Okay, so in conclusion now, we're done. The right side's in place. The neck's adjusted. We're not done. We got to do this time after time. It might take 10 visits to undo 20 years of neglect, of no proper chiropractic before. So I said, Eric, we might do another show in 2 months. Yeah. I will love him to say, no headaches, no groin pain. I am healthier. I am more active. My life is back again. I'm doing more chores around the house for my wife. That whole picture should improve, but it takes time to get there.
Yep.
Okay. So let's just 30-second conclusion. Eric hurt himself 20 years ago, a workman's compensation claim. So remember, after 90 days, you had no trouble just telling them you want to start seeing me now.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? His case is permanent. I hope I will be a permanent part of his life. One day he should have no pain in his leg, no groin pain, no headache, and I'll just see you once a month. You can still see a gentle chiropractor, and it's nice and safe. Thanks for watching the show.